Hey, this is my take. I'm John Kavakis. I want to talk to you today about Brooklin, and in specific, Brooklyn's 1954 Packard Caribbean. Now, those of you who have been following the story on the Packard Caribbean know it was a long time coming. There's a lot of confusion over who was ordering it, how you ordered it, what entities were involved in it, so on and so forth. And it took some while to get that worked out. And in the meantime, Brooklyn was going through some changes itself. So that first Caribbean was a little over 2 years, almost 3 years in coming, but it was beautiful. Packard ivory over bikini blue. The biggest problem we ran into was Brooklyn underestimated the production number, so they needed more. The first one was an immediate sellout, immediate collector's item, stunning automobile. So they made a second production run. Now, part of the first production run that maybe not a lot of people are aware of was a very limited number, somewhere around 20, 25, of all black with a tan interior. That model was equally spectacular. So they decided they were going to make more to get caught up on back orders on the ivory over blue one. They made a second production run. In that run, they also made a limited number of white over green. Green over white. And that one was another model. The finish was absolutely amazing. So that Packard Caribbean has been one of the most successful model introductions that Brooklyn has had in many years. It's a reflection of the high level of detail, the better finish that Brooklyn's been coming on. Even the packaging and everything was just superior. So there's no telling whether or not there's going to be another production run, but what a lot of people are not aware of and just becoming aware of is a very, very small number of white over, actually ivory over red models were made, and those were ordered by Tom Kinney. There are only 5 of them made, and of course Tom has one. So it's vitally important to understand how the process works. Let me just explain that for you. With the new model, Brooklyn's doing fantastic. Sales have been good. Sales on all of their recent releases have been fantastic, and the new model's working. As a matter of fact, Brooklyn is thriving. They're backed up on production. There are several models in the pipeline, but part of the new model are lower production numbers. Now, that's an advantage to the collectors that cherish exclusivity. Of course, the models are a bit more expensive because they're more highly detailed, but there's a lot that goes into that. Material costs are up, so on and so forth. So the model's a little bit more expensive, but the numbers are relatively small. But what they're able to do now that they were unable to do before is they can tag on some additional colors. And that's exactly what Tom Kinney did. When they were making that last production run of ivory over blue and the green over white, Tom just called Brooklyn and said, can you make me 5 white over red ones, ivory over red ones? And they said, yeah, we can do that. It's easy enough to do. So there was no customization that was needed. All they had to do was a repaint. And of course, that cost Tom a little bit extra, and it was his first model, and he was very fair about, he contacted all of his friends, and everybody bought him up. So on those models, on those special commissions, Jeff Lane's done several of them. You may see some more coming. There might be something even from my take. We'll talk about that later on in the year. But on those special commissions, that general announcements are not made. That nothing comes from the factory because they're ordered by an individual for his private network of clients. And so you might see an announcement on some of the social media. You might not. In Tom's case, there was no announcement made. So if you want to get in on the limited editions, you really got to pay attention to the BCC page, the Brooklyn and SMTS collective page, Forum 43. That's where those models are going to show up. And if you're not looking through past announcements and past posts on those social media sites, you might miss the announcement. So keep your eyes open. As a general rule, they're made available, in particular if somebody's ordering 25 or 30 or 50 models. So you just gotta keep your eye. They don't show up on the manufacturer site. They don't show up on brooklynmodels.com. They only show up through the networks of the people that order them. So I know some people struggle with that. They're not made available to everybody. But Brooklyn's whole deal is, well, if you order the models, we're going to give them to you, and we're not going to promote them. That is up to you to sell them as you see fit. So that's how we have 4 different versions of the Packard Caribbean. I've got all 4 of them here. I'm going to give you a close look at the green and white one, and I'll give you a close look at that limited edition that there's only 5 of. So the ones that Tom ordered are all gone. The green and white ones are gone. I don't know if there's going to be another production run or not. If there's not, well, then you're going to have to look for these on the secondary market. If there is, you're going to have to keep your eyes open because it won't be big. So the big news is Brooklyn's doing great. The big news is all of their recent models have been sellouts, with maybe a handful of them left. We've got the Camaro coming. They are mostly sold out. You might not want to wait until the Camaro is actually introduced to see it. We had a prototype of it in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. You might want to do your pre-order on it because I can guarantee you, once those hit the streets, they're going to be gone. It's an absolutely stunning model. Let's take a look at the Caribbeans, and then I'll come back and finish up.
Here's all 4 of them. There's that green over white one. You can see the difference between the white and the Packard Ivory. Very stunning finish on that one. The original one, the Packard Ivory over bikini blue, set the world on fire. Just love that model. And there's the black with tan interior. This was Simon's favorite. Absolutely stunning model. There's Tom Kinney's model with the ivory over red. 4 just beautiful models, beautifully finished, all of them limited productions, all of them worthy of being in your collection if you get one. Here's a closer look at Tom's car again. And again, Tom called Brooklyn. He agreed that he wanted 5 models. They agreed to make them, but Tom had to then commit to buy the 5 models. Once the models were made, payment was made before they were shipped. They were shipped to Tom. They were in Tom's hands. This is why they can't be on the factory website, because the person who commissions them receives the models before they're announced to the public, and it's up to them to sell them. It's a great model.
Okay, so that's all the Caribbeans. I've already had several emails about Tom's ivory over red one. There are none available. You can contact Tom. If I find any that show up on the secondary market, I'll notify those people who have contacted me. But you can almost guarantee with numbers that low, only 5 of them made, they're not going to show up on the secondary market, maybe for quite some time, if ever. So that's Brooklyn's 1954 Packard Caribbean. I'm sorry there were none available. Keep your eyes open in case they do another production run. But keep an eye on what's coming up from Brooklyn, because the pipeline is full of models. We know about some of them. Some of them will be surprises. If you want to get in, you're going to have to get in early. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, give me a like down there in the right-hand corner. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Closing in on 1,100 subscribers. The channel is doing well, and that's because of your support and your encouragement. If you have any comments, any questions, put them right down there below the video. I'll answer them as quick as possible. I'll be back again soon.